What's the deal with that KFC logo?
That's Travis Head.
Well, like, what's the go? Is that? Can you see that if you're?
I haven't seen the promotion. This is KO Premium. I don't see the adverts.
But is that hyper? Is that on the broadcast only, or is that they've shaved that into the ground?
No, they haven't. Well, they painted it in. They didn't shave red, black, and white. But they've painted Travis Head. They haven't figured out the superimposed graphics like they have in the NBA.
It seems like a way easier court to do it on.
The grass.
Yeah,
definitely. Hello and welcome to the Deep Down Bear podcast. My name is Sean. Joining me today is the one and only Lucas Treatis, Mr. LKP _B-ball, Mr. Binky. Lucas.
Yeah.
How are you?
Go through them all. Yeah, good man. I think it's probably appropriate to like lay some, and you're absolutely done to this, but lay some like back in Greek track for this episode. Maybe some bouzouki or
Bouzouki will go so hard right now.
Or what's the other one the Mapapu used to play? Or just get the one the Mapapu used to play.
Just like classic Greek track.
The dringy guitar.
Zorba the Greek.
Zorba the Greek, yeah. You know that song by Justin Timberlake that has that guitar and the guitar at the start. It's like
what goes around ... / comes the whole way back around. Seriously,
sure. The guitar at the front of that song. But otherwise, what a day, man. It's
I always thought that was Indian.
Chris. The Greeks have definitely claimed it. Right. Or my dad, who is
just like a Turkish coffee,
who is not Greek. When the silly season is here, man. Look at all the players that are in Santa's sack, for lack of a better term.
Well, before we get to it,
sure.
Intro. Chris Paul's been waived. How good! I was just reading a little bit of the report before. So good that the whole book on him has been that he's such an asshole. Can't spend a lot of time with him. He's just a prick. He's like, what is it? Carlton Towns checks into the game and he goes, "Your shirt's untucked, and then they get a tech and they get a delay a game, right?
Yeah, like
just asshole. But he's always just put up 19 and 10, been plus 20, right? So he's always gotten away with it. This is like seeing a really dodgy banker finally get arrested for tax fraud or something. So finally he's averaging 2.3 points and 3 assists. And apparently his message was just graining on Ty Lue and the rest of the team, and he was calling out people in film rooms, and everyone's like, "Look, mate, you're averaging 2 points.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Piss off."
Yeah.
How good.
They flogged him off.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Chris Paul's an Esty. He's 40 now, though.
Yeah.
So he's had quite a fruitful career up until this point. Yeah. I feel like the dodgy banker call is kind of good, but I feel like a dodgy banker would be a little bit less good at their job.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris Paul was pretty good at his job for like 15 years.
Sadly, he was.
Yeah. But to all who celebrate, happy Chris Paul waving day. Waved by the Clippers, I feel like, is just awesome. Who knew he would have ended up here?
Awesome.
I've seen resurrected the franchise.
Awesome. Yeah, he's the odds-on favorite to sign him is the New York Knicks, and I don't think he will catch on with another team. I think this.
You reckon this is it?
I mean, I'm saying that a little bit because I hope it's it, but fuck, I hope it's it. Like, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, but I feel like there would be like, I don't know, I feel like he's got enough goodwill within the league and within like a certain type of player, like an Anthony Edwards comes to mind. God knows that team needs players to pass the ball.
Well, they need aging point guards actually. Mike Conley is just not coaching anymore.
Mike Conley and Joe Ingles aren't cutting it anymore.
Joe Ingles is a coach.
Ooh. Now, I actually did. We got the cricket on listeners.
I don't know if this is a good idea.
It's a great idea. Have we seen how slow this sport takes? That was the first time. We've been recording 3 bowls that happened, and that's the first one that's caught our eye.
That's a great nut.
I did mean to talk to you about the cricket as well.
Your podcast last week was exceptional. I think top 5, and it's not 4 or 5 podcast all time on this network. And and it included 15 minutes of cricket chat. What the hell?
And hey, buddy, I got 15 more for you. Now, what do we got here? Different pitch.
Yeah.
much shorter green. We've been used to about 6 to 8 millimeters thusly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it'll be a bit softer, which is, as we all know, that'll affect the outcome of the game.
If you just direct your eyes to the day one, go to the listeners. We're watching the day one Brisbane test.
This is live, right?
This is live. Okay. As you can see, the top right hand corner says 4K Ultra.
Well, now for anyone playing at home, we just watched the first bowl of the 15th over where Doggett got absolutely dogged.
So there's a lot of, if you look at the pitch, you can see a lot of grass sort of connect, a lot of green grass on the pitch, which is, so you sort of see creases of green grass.
That's good for passage for like the local ecology. So like wombats want to go through, or also birds.
Now this green has just been like manicured for the past couple of weeks, right, to make it perfect like this.
Oh, right, okay.
And then when you start a cricket game, you just let it out to the elements. That's guys running, that's balls bouncing, that's the sun blaring down. So if it stays dry in Brisbane, I don't know the weather, eventually those
Wait, hang on, sorry. Got to jump in here. Is this in Brisbane or Adelaide?
Brisbane.
Oh, okay. So I thought that. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the floodlight situation? Because
I don't know.
Well, they're gonna.
The
sun
goes down
much earlier.
Yeah.
So, what does that favor? Who does that favor? Bowlers to have the lights on?
No, because they're using a pink ball.
Yeah, but still.
Well, there's guys who are good at day-night tests, there's guys who aren't. I feel it's quite even.
We all know what bloody Scott Boland is.
So as the test goes on, those green bits will probably die. And then in there, if those roots die and if they get kicked up, all of a sudden you'll start to see cracks in the tectonic plates of the pitch.
And that's when your Nathan Lyons come in.
Yeah, well, we actually haven't gone with Nathan Lyon this test. We've only got pace bowlers.
Have we got a one spin bowler?
I don't think so. No, I think we might have a part-time spinner, but we've just gone with pacey bowlers this time.
Right, okay.
But if you bowl it and it hits that crack, all of a sudden that's variance. That it can bounce off.
Yeah.
If you hit the edge of the crack, the batsman might be there, but the variance might be a millimeter, and that could be the difference between getting a wicket.
So would cracks be better for spinners, or would they be better for
just bowlers in general?
Oh, okay. Yeah. What about a swing bowler like a Mitchell Johnson?
Yeah, it's good for all bowlers. Just more question marks. Like if you're a batsman, you want the person to bowl the exact same ball 100 times right in front of you, and you know exactly how to hit it.
Yeah.
But any tiny little question marks where it could hit a crack, or maybe it's like just swinging or something. Any question mark whatsoever is what gets batsmen out. No good batsman gets out from a consistent bowl.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, Stokes, though, he's confused cricket fans once again. Me personally, I'm not even going to continue to try and guess what he's going to choose, but he's won the toss. Is that they've won both tosses?
Yeah.
And they've elected to bat both times.
Yeah.
Now, what do we have to say about that? Is that this one is obviously going way better?
Yeah.
Because they're hitting more than 4 and over here.
Yeah.
Wait, is that more than 5?
You're so quick at mental arithmetic.
It's nearly 5 and over.
Yeah.
It's about 4.5.
Yeah.
That was not the case in the first game, was it?
No.
What were they when they were on 64 runs or roughly about?
I don't know, mate.
Do you know how many wickets they were on?
I couldn't tell you, mate.
So this is already much better for them.
Sure. Well, sure. Yeah. Oh, it would have been like 4-ish, 4 or 5.
Right. Okay.
It was a horrible first innings. Any other questions? Even though I didn't answer that one.
Yes, there's one very important one. Now, I learned of 2 things in cricket in the same sentence. Mm-hmm. Now, one of them is that I think it's this game. Mm-hmm. There is something that is known as a pitch that is preferable for people that nick the ball. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Pitching it up?
All right, I'll tell you what I heard. So there's this bloke by the nickname Skull.
Yeah.
And we'll get to him in a moment.
Yeah.
But he's referred to this pitch as, that saying, you got your knickers in a knot.
Yeah.
Now, he uses that first nick word.
Yeah.
And he refers to it as that word, pitch.
God, I feel like I can't say that.
Yeah, and he's been fucking flinging it around. And I just think I said it in the car, and it feels so uncomfortable to say.
Yeah.
And especially from coming out of a fucking skull like that.
Yeah. No, he's one of my favorite commentators.
Is he a good commentator?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a bit like who's a commentator for New York?
The Knickerbockers. I should have gone with that.
Will be friend.
Clyde the Glide Frazier. Walt Frazier, but
he's like an Australian version of Clyde the Glide, where it's like Clyde, he goes into a Knicks game and he's got 50 things written down and he's probably going to say 40 of them, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
As an
How do I
Australian.
make these games fit
Yeah, he's agenda.
my quote.
Kerry, I don't know if he writes them down. I think he writes down the first ones at the start of the day, and then whenever something comes up, he'll say it. But he doesn't overdo it. He always just does the right amount of absolute stupid crap, and it is so funny. And he will just interrupt his fellow commentators and just get in and say something.
God, he shit on this podcast.
And then he's sometimes, if it's a really slow day or maybe it's washed out, he'll just tell jokes.
Right.
And sometimes he'll just tell stories about when he used to play cricket, and like his stories often involves, there's a game tomorrow, but I'm in England and this pub looks really good, so I had a few beers before the game. Oh, I bumped into another cricket player who's playing an international test tomorrow. Like that's his stories. But it doesn't sound that funny, but it's quite funny.
It doesn't at all. But that
Cody's got a head.
Oh my God. Speak about like Bill Russell and having to like wanting to shave him down. Like, can we get Skull?
Never said that.
Can we get Skull like a headband or like a bow or something, or like glasses?
It can't be saying he's too cool.
He's like the step beyond Peter Dutton.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, Peter Dutton will just be there in 10, 20 years.
Yeah. Or like, in Kent Brockman where they clipped the back of his head to like, that Ken from The Simpsons, the news anchor. And his face is really saggy, and they just put a big peg on the back of his head. Maybe we could do that with Skull.
Yeah. No, we're later on, just to give the listeners a peek behind the kimono, we're actually getting haircuts together.
Oh, yeah, true. So I'm getting the Skull.
I can show you best of Kerry O'Keefe. It was funny when I was away.
Save that for next time.
When I was away with the Cheese and Kisses, we were messaging in the group chat that cricket's going on. I should have gotten rid of that before we hit record. I was like, man, these beers are starting to taste like I'm going to show Francesca the best of Kerry O'Keefe. And then like 4 hours later, she puts up a story of me showing her Kerry O'Keefe TikToks, and Marco replied like, "Oh my God, he actually did it."
Wow, what a full circle moment.
Yeah, what a full circle moment. And speaking of blokes with perfectly round heads, Giannis isn't one of them, but Giannis Antetokounmpo, in a report coming from Shams Trainer, it's that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent have initiated conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks on a potential trade. I'll give a quote here. Antetokounmpo has been frustrated with the Bucks losing, and there's a sense of tension in the locker room. The Bucks were 5-1 or 5-2. Giannis got injured. Did the sound come back on?
Just ever so slightly, but I think it's all good.
Giannis got injured, and now the Bucks, Jamie, you should have pulled that up before, actually.
The Bucks are 10-13.
Yeah, which is not good.
Way worse than
they beat the Pistons today.
Yeah.
While Giannis's calf strain, I was actually going to talk about it. Did you see the clip of his calf strain today?
I did not.
It was a complete non-contact injury in the first quarter, and he was just sort of running back on defense after, I don't know, missing a layup or something. A complete non-contact. He grabs his calf, sits down, and just like shakes his head like, "I'm out."
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, is this all start of sort of a big ploy to sort of like sit out and be like, look, I'm injured." And now he's going to start agitating and just unfurl the
loaf.
I was going to say the Rich Paul playbook.
Oh yeah,
Shaw loaf as well. I think it might actually be a real injury.
Yeah, I would err on the side of that for a person like Giannis.
Yeah, lovely guy. But what do you think when you see Giannis Antetokounmpo officially request a trade on the run sheet?
Yeah, I think I feel the same way that I felt about Dame when he did it about 2 years late, which is that it's just 2 years late. Like, what's the harm and the brand management and the damage control? Like, who cares? Especially in someone in Giannis's position who, he was happy up until he won that first ring, and he won 2 MVPs before that. You've done more than Milwaukee could have ever asked for. You've done more than most NBA teams can ask from their star player. If you can give a team a championship and nothing else, then go do whatever you want to do after that. But it did seem as though when Drew left and Dame came in, I feel like, if you were to give Giannis truth serum, he probably knew that was the beginning of the end.
I'm gonna push back. I picked them to win the title that preseason, and I thought Damian Lillard was still really good. I think if you'd given Giannis truth serum after maybe 15 games, when Dame's averaged like 19 points, and it looks like he's on the other end of his career, I think definitely. But like that team looked really good.
Yeah, that's true
on paper.
That's true. But yeah, it just feels like this is probably a little later than it needed to be. And you could have gone to a team when you were 28 or 29 rather than, I'm pretty sure he's 30 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've written down my one note for this show is that you're never more than 6 months. No, actually, that's not it. You're always within 6 months of a one-away star in the NBA. Now, that has been the case over the last probably decade. Maybe let's take 5 years to be safe. And right now, look at the pool. Like if you're a buying team, we question all these teams that are just like meddling in mediocrity. But now look at them. It's a fire sale. The Chicago Bulls, so miserably the 10th seed for so long. The Toronto Raptors are doing really well this year, but like I feel like over the past few years, they've been in that play-in zone.
The catchment.
And now look at them. Now they have all the pieces to make one of these trades for one of these one-away stars.
It's definitely too late. And we were talking about this, and heaps of people have been talking about this. It's clearly too late. Like you're doing this at the wrong time. He obviously had all the quotes that I haven't got written down, but all the quotes that are like, "Hey, I want to be the best Milwaukee Buck ever." A little bit hard. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's also there as well. He's always talked about legacy and wanting to be with the one team, and essentially just ramming his head against the wall so he can just continue doing it. It's a lot better than when Damian Lillard did it because he didn't actually do anything apart from one conference finals, which was
one fact check that.
It's one to two max, right? So yeah, it's a lot better, and you can almost say like, "Hey, good job, move on." I don't really want to talk too much about like do they want to, because they lost
one Western Conference Finals in 2019.
Yeah, that was when Steph Curry came back and in overtime.
Oh yeah, from memory, they actually did quite well in that series.
Yeah. Well, Steph came back.
Oh no,
they
didn't.
Oh, they didn't.
That's right.
4-1.
I thought it was a sweep. But I thought it was going to be... I remember that series being like, oh, if Steph misses game one, then it's, and the Blazers win and doors open. But they didn't end up winning a game.
Yeah. It is too little too late. But let's talk about what we have in front of us right now. Like, we've got a couple of trade ideas. We've got some notes about where he wants to go. Where do you want to start? Or is there anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
Well, what do we reckon the Bucks are going to want in return in this scenario? Because we have a few ideas here on the whiteboard, but it feels like you're going star for star. And like, is this not like what this team and this era of Milwaukee is just so marked by Giannis?
Yeah,
you can't substitute him in. Let's start with the Knicks.
Yeah,
you can't substitute him out and bring Cat in. No like compliment or whatever criticism on either player, just like that is not like for like, and the essence of this team is completely lost when Giannis goes. So I think if they're going to make a Giannis trade, then I just assume it's going to be an asset play rather than a let's bring in another guy around his age and just pretend like nothing ever happened.
So I've put together a lot of trades, and a lot of them are sort of like a trade. A Giannis for Trey or Giannis for Cat, like just sort of a like for like, in his late 20s who's getting paid, and that's the first big issue. A guy who's getting paid over $50 million because it's really hard. A lot of teams are up against the cap. A team like the Brooklyn Nets is one of the very few who might actually be interested in a trade here, who can actually take back 20 million extra money, right? So because of that, you sort of do have to make things work. The second apron also complicates it, where teams above the second apron can't aggregate contracts in a deal. So for a team like the Knicks, who are just above the second apron, who would probably get under it, right, and can get under it, but for the Knicks, they can. It's like, okay, we have to trade a 1-for-1 player, and he can't take $1 over what the trade is. And I also think that they would want to get a player back because they waived and stretched Damian Lillard, and they're going to be paying him money for the next 5 seasons. They've got Miles Turner, and that was part of the wave and stretch, so they could get a good basketball player in right now. And they don't own their future first-round picks. So it's like, what's the point of retooling and sort of trying to rebuild when you don't own your first-round picks at all? Like, their pick is actually owed to the Atlanta Hawks as part of the Derek Queen trade. So that trade just looks even worse and worse and worse for the Pelicans as Giannis might be gone. Yeah, and then I'm going to bring up Atlanta because Atlanta, well, I think it is just the asset play. Atlanta can sort of do that deal that we talked about with the Rockets and Booker for so long, where it's like, hey, we can give you your picks back, and then you can actually do a rebuild. You can actually blow everything up and start again and try and get Cameron Boozer's son.
Right.
So I have just tried to go assets, and I have it's an asset play, but it's just hard to trade these guys because they're making so much.
So let's go to that Hawks one. I just if you're talking about Giannis in a want-away sort of fashion, that feels like a very heavy price to pay.
So for
Trae Young, Zachary Ricochet, and picks.
Yeah. So maybe the Bucks first in 2026, so they can blow it up this year. It also works if you don't include Ricochet. Right. Would you prefer if it was just a Trae swap, and then really buy into this identity of like defense first? Defensive players across your top 8 positions.
Well, what about trade for the money, damn it. I was going to say Ricochet and picks, but you can't do that.
Yeah, well, money-wise...
Who do they have? Do they have...
They've got Kristaps Porzingis, who you might know isn't always available.
True. I think he's on 1 year. Okay. Because if they did that, and then Ricochet's on what?
13, which is, God, it's so much money.
And then they're going to need to give a couple extra dollars back.
That works. Kristaps and Ricochet.
Yeah, and then picks.
Yeah.
I think that would be what I would expect, like a trade like this to kind of go down. Because I feel like as much as you want to stay with the defensive identity in Atlanta, like I think you want Trae Young passing Giannis the ball. Like in a situation where, and especially like, I don't know, I've swung so much on how I feel and think about Trae Young, but he has never once indicated he wants to be anywhere else. And if the opportunity arises to bring someone into the team who's better than him, then I think you got to do everything in your power to retain him. Yeah. Because, I mean, a very young Trae, pardon the pun, did he go to the conference finals?
A young Trae Young. Yeah, he did. It was when Ben Simmons passed the ball.
Yeah. Well, he was like 21.
Yeah.
Well, he was young AF.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's always liked being there.
Yeah.
And then could you just imagine? Can you just imagine the offense? Like that would be unbelievable.
Trae, Giannis, Jalen Johnson is probably the second best player on that team. Giannis would almost have to be a full-time 5 at that point, like a 5 on defense. And
what about Onyeka?
Onyeka's 3 inches shorter than Giannis.
Yeah, but he plays center.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good switchy defense. But then you've got Trae as a problem. So who are you switching Trae onto? Obviously, the lineups with Jalen Johnson, Giannis, Dyson Daniels, Onyeka Okongwu, Nickeil Alexander-Walker sound really good.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like
I did mention Trae.
If the issue is Trae defensively, when those other 4 guys are on the court, I think that's an issue you can paper up. Yeah. And then think about, again, to go back to the offense, like would be an extremely defensive, roster, and still the offense is a very exciting part of it. Yeah. And it also catapults the Hawks out of that mediocrity. Yeah. And I think, they've just been in there for so long that it's probably time to make a swing. So I think in terms of like, what gets a Giannis trade done? I mean, it's going to have to be so... is the Hawks pick situation that they have all the Bucks picks?
No, they just have the one for next year. It's the best of Milwaukee or New Orleans. So they could trade just the Milwaukee part of that. So they could offer him to say, here's your... Well, how would that work?
Nah, if it's Giannis, they'd have to trade that pick.
Yeah, but maybe...
Full stop.
Yeah, and include the New Orleans Pelican section.
Yeah. Because right now, Ricochet and Porzingis for Giannis is like, why would the...
But I'm saying, like, if you're the Bucks, would you ask for like a 2032?
Yeah. So that's another part of this trade. I'm thinking 3 minimum picks. Yeah. If one of those picks is potentially the Pelicans pick from next year, then it probably doesn't have to bump up to 4. Yeah. But if you can get like a good quality pick for next year, Because I mean, like, how much of this is just going to be like showing everyone that they got a good deal on paper at the time?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get good value back for Giannis.
Yeah. So the Pelicans hold rights to swap next year with the Bucks, but we should probably give the Bucks pick situation. And Troy Weaver's probably going to trade that right to swap the Bucks away.
Atlanta. It's in the Pelicans.
This is the Bucks.
The Bucks have rights with Atlanta to swap.
No, the Bucks pick is owed to New Orleans next year. So this year it's owed to the Hawks. Next year it's owed.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
sorry. My bad, listener. So sorry.
And then Paul owns the rights to swap. Fucking 28 and 30. So the next time the Bucks fully control their pick would be 2031.
Yeah.
And this could be like a full Brooklyn Nets situation, like the Billy King Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. So we're going to need that Pelicans pick.
Yeah. You got to. I think, God, the Atlanta Hawks are actually really enticing because they have their own pick.
I think of all the destinations and in what is going to get it done, for lack of a better term, this is kind of the most realistic one to me because that Knicks one.
Yeah, well, let's say Cat and every Knicks pick you can. Those Knicks picks are going to be in the 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, do you want to shake up the boat that much if you're New York? Do you want the Knicks? Yeah, you don't want the Knicks picks if you're Milwaukee. Giannis is better than Cat, sure, but like, it's not like it's going right.
Yeah,
and Cat also provides spacing.
Yeah,
and like the way that Cat play makes complements the rest of the team so well, and they've been building that for a few years now. Like, remember how fresh and new that was, and now it feels like they're like one of the most
oldest teams,
one of the longest tenured lineups, and they have that cohesion. And Cat play makes in areas of the court where he threatens as a scorer as well. And I feel like if you were to just plug Giannis into that, it would be like you'd probably be looking to recalibrate for next season.
Which you can't really do if you're the Knicks. You're looking at the East right now and saying this is our year to break through.
Like the upside for the Knicks is definitely stronger in magnitude than the downside, but the downside is probably more likely.
Yeah. And if you're the Bucks, you definitely don't want Cat, right? Like, you're going to trade Cat in the off season.
And be like, why? We got Giannis.
Yeah. Well, and what are you going to trade? You're going to go to the Hawks and say, give us our pick back.
Can we?
And then it's going to say, well, I would much rather Giannis than Cat. Fuck, the Hawks look pretty good. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors because
there's a shock.
You know I fucking can't. I can't not. It's tricky for us to do it. Either we trade Jimmy straight up for him. Well, can I just mention that we have been infatuated with Giannis for a while. There's been a lot of
8 years now.
Yeah, and Giannis had some quote in the All-Star game where he's like, "Oh my god, I'm picking Curry. I've always wanted to play next to Curry," and he did on the All-Star team, and it's like that could be what he meant, but come on. If we can trade Jimmy straight up, which is a bit like, do you do that? Like, do you just be like a brutal front office and be like, look, Jimmy Butler, you're 40 years old. Let's just flip you as the asset. Again, why do the Bucks do that?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that lineup? Ryan Rollins, Jimmy Butler, Miles Turner as your big three.
Yeah. I think if the Bucks are coming out of this trade 6 years older, with an picks that aren't valuable, I think the franchise will probably they'll pick it.
Yeah. So the other more likely outcome is that we find a third team to take Hield or Moody, two players that we would like to have left over in a potential Giannis team. But if we can just find someone to take Hield or Moody into the Cat space, Moody, I think it would actually be quite easy. Like, you could probably convince the Brooklyn Nets just to take him for a couple of seconds.
Bruce Brown him.
Bruce Brown him. And then the trade that would make with the Bucks would be Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and whatever picks would need to sweeten the pot. I think you would need quite a few picks to sweeten that pot because if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you're taking on Draymond Green, again, the age problem. Your defense would actually look quite good with Miles Turner and Draymond Green. Jonathan Kuminga, it's we're not happy with Jonathan Kuminga's development as a collective.
I was to hear you say that.
So would you do this Warriors trade? Like, if you're the Warriors, yes, obviously. Like,
if you're the Warriors, there's no chance though.
You'd give up Draymond Green.
There's no chance the Warriors get this deal.
What? Because we've got all of our future first round picks. Like, we are done with our obligations in the Miami Jimmy Butler trade. We are a middling team that is one game under 500, but we control all of our future first round picks. So what if we give up like 5 years of draft control, and the Bucks are like, well, 37-year-old Stephen Curry, Giannis 31. Jimmy Butler, as mentioned, 42, 45.
Yeah.
Would you prefer that over maybe just like getting some salary from the Hawks and getting your own pick back?
No. The Hawks, the maneuverability with the Hawks in a trade is also like enticing, because that becomes such a bargaining chip, because it feels like the Warriors will probably have one offer that the Hawks can react to and be like, we can add this, we can add this, we can do this, yada yada.
So let's say it becomes like a bidding war.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks chucking in just as many picks would be better than, like, if the Warriors trade for Giannis, I would say that they're a contender right today, right?
Yeah.
So then their picks all of a sudden burst next year. You know, Steph 38, 39, it's getting old. So you're not really seeing returns until 2028 plus, and that's if you do, right? Which could actually be quite good. There's like, once you trade away Kuminga, it's like, okay, well, what's the young prospect we're building with here? But then, just getting your own pick this year and just tanking down the rest of the year, is that just more valuable plus stuff later on?
Well, like, if we just do it like for like, Porzingis and Draymond's better, but neither of those players are really going to shift the needle in terms of their immediate like fortune in Milwaukee. And then that young prospect Kuminga and Ricochet is just night and day.
Yeah. Is it?
At basketball, yes.
I'd say they're both pretty bad. I think it's just that Ricochet's younger
and better.
Nah.
He's
played really poorly this year.
That's okay.
And so is Kuminga.
Ricochet, when he like gets the ball on the 3-point line, you're like, oh, cool.
What are we talking about when he gets the ball on the 3-point line? He's shooting 31% from three.
This year? Yeah, what? It's 19 games.
The year of our Lord 2025.
Over his career, 35.
All right.
Pull up Kuminga's number.
No. No, I won't be doing that.
Yeah, so we're talking about it.
He's born in Spain?
Yeah, I like that.
That's a pretty good double passport to have. Spain and France. Anyway, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, no.
Okay, you would rather have Ricochet.
Well,
so
he hasn't even run through his 100-game banner yet.
Yeah. Or his 50.
Like,
he fully has run through his 50.
But Ricochet, there's no, like, it's not, I don't think
it's not night and day. I just think it's like potentially like evening and just after lunch.
You can tell yourself that if you want. Where does Kuminga go from here versus where does Ricochet go? From here as well.
Well, hopefully the Bucks.
There's just, I don't know. I don't like the only way that the Bucks like would go with this is if they fully cripple the Warriors, prospects of building a team in, after Steph retires.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be what? Pick 2030, like the 2032, 30, 28.
Yeah.
And then could you trade 34?
No. 32 is the furthest out you could trade.
Yeah, that doesn't get done.
Yeah.
That doesn't get done.
What if it's like a pick swap in 31? Yeah, I think it doesn't get done. I think the Warriors turn away after that. Like, if you're Mike Dunleavy, you're like, hey, I might have a job for the next 15 years. If you make this trade and you don't win a title, all of a sudden you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Like, if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about...
So far, I would say Hawks are winning.
Yeah, it's actually
winning the market.
Actually kind of surprising. What about...
and that's the other thing. If it becomes a bidding war, the Hawks are really the only one that can... into that next stage of the conversation.
And also, depending on what the Bucks want, do the Bucks want like pieces like Ricochet, or do they want someone like Porzingis who can come, like he's 30 mil, comes off the books at the end of the year?
I think that's very inviting.
That's what basketball teams want. All right, the Miami Heat.
Hell, actually, sorry to interrupt you, but Giannis is number one on Basketball Reference. Top 12 all-time Milwaukee Bucks as measured by win shares.
Yeah, but that doesn't include Kareem's Lakers years.
Yeah. But if you wanted to be the greatest Buck of all time.
Who can you try and guess who's leading that stat for the Charlotte Hornets? I think I heard who it was today.
I reckon surely Kemba.
Maybe Kemba. Let's Jamie, pull that one up.
I'll definitely pull that one up.
So the Miami Heat are another team who's always been mentioned in the Giannis. It's weird we've had a few sweepstakes.
Question, because the Hornets are split into 3 eras here.
Oh, no, that's obviously going to be Kemba. All right, let's not do it.
Should we just... All right, we won't do that.
Tyler Hero plus Terry Rozier works financially. A guy here called Lucas Petridis has highlighted the term Rozier works financially, and he said, "You seen the news, buddies?" He either expires at the end of the year or he expires next week once his investigation's done. So that's like, just consider that free money off the book. So it's like Tyler Hero, the Miami Heat, just like the Warriors control a lot of their future first-round picks. They control theirs this year. They don't next year, and then they're 28 picks through 2032 picks. A much younger nucleus than the Golden State Warriors. So again, if it gets into a bidding war, do you want 5 picks and swaps of the Miami Heat, or do you want 5? Again, 5 might be way too big a number, but do you want a handful of Warriors, or do you want a handful of Heat for future first round picks? Does Tyler Hero move the needle? That's giving you a Damian Lillard pseudo replacement to pair with your fucking Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner.
Hang on, our hairdresser is here. Does he want to come in? Should we bring him in?
Yeah. All right, let's hit pause.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lucas. We take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show is filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honor of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
Loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.
Yeah, back in the day. It's in Once Brothers, starring Vlade Divac.
No. All right, well, here we are back in front of a live studio audience. What were we saying? Tyler Hero. Does Tyler Hero swing the needle for you?
I think, he's definitely... that's what I meant to Google before halftime.
Tyler Hero points per game.
Fuck, I wrote Tero Hero. Tyler Hero age.
God, this is the worst. It's the studio audience, mate. We've forgotten how to Google.
Tyler. 25 years old. 20th of Jan 2000.
And you just don't own any picks until 2028, and that's going to be a grim franchise to root for.
But something that we haven't spoken about yet is just where do we think these players are going to end up? And I just think Giannis ends up in Miami. And there might be another player you talk about in a second by the name of Anthony Davis. And I just think he ends up in Chicago. Like there's jerseys I see Giannis in, and there's jerseys I don't see Giannis in. And I see him in potentially a Warriors jersey, but it's unlikely. I don't really see him in a Hawks jersey, but I think that could get done. But I really see him in a Miami jersey.
Yeah, the Lucas field test is famously quite up and down, but yeah, I don't really know how to respond to. Do you see Giannis in the Heat jersey?
Do you like him?
Yeah, it's good. I don't know.
But for the Heat deal, Hero plus Rozier, and then their picks. When you dive into those picks, they can only really offer 2 unprotected.
Can't they? They could do 20.
They can't do 28.
Oh, you'd have to swap.
It has to be 29 and 31, or 30 and 32.
Yeah, so in the bidding war, it's if there is a bidding war, and John Horst has got to make a decision about which picks he wants, like if he wants like a 20, 31, 32 Warriors, or Heat, or Atlanta, like I think the Warriors probably win that bidding war, but I don't think it's going to come down to that. I think best returning player might be Tyler Hero.
Definitely,
Well, actually,
in terms of
110%.
On the graph as well.
Yeah.
Where you include age in that equation.
Yeah.
He definitely is like the most enticing.
Yeah.
He's got the most stars on 2K.
And then I guess their picks would be kind of juicy as well. Like they're not the youngest core. Like Bam's his age almost starts with a 3. I guess they also just farm role players out of nothing. So you don't really like when Goran Dragic got traded to the Heat, and they're like, oh my god, they're like the Suns got these Heat picks. Like they're awesome. They're not actually that awesome because the Heat just like turn like absolutely nothing into role players. So
the 2020 Heat pick, I think it was, just was the most valuable pick of all time.
Yeah. I think Zach Lowe said that it was the most valuable thing to be traded.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'll see you on the other side, listener. I'll say goodbye now. It's been lovely to chat to you as always, but I'll leave you with the short now.
Hello, listeners. Sean Carroll here, just recording a little post-show podcast. We apologise for the stopping and starting nature of that episode, but, as they say in Jurassic Park, sometimes life gets in the way, which is not what they said. Lucas and I touched on most of the stuff that we talked about. I just wanted to come in and wrap up and say that, look, I can't really say this potential trade for Giannis because I was mainly just trying to prod Lucas and try and get him pissed off, but Tatum for Giannis, the Boston Celtics are 6th in offense and 19th in defense according to Cleaning the Glass this year. They're clearly a good team right now, despite missing old mate. I don't know, the money works straight up. You can just simply make a swap and then throw in the picks, and all of a sudden we're having that conversation about would you rather the Boston Celtics picks or the Warriors picks or the Hawks picks / your own. It's a hard equation, but then since you don't control your own draft, you get an All-NBA guy back. Like, Trae Young's not at an All-NBA level. Tyler Hero is not at an All-NBA level, but I tell you who is, Jason Tatum when he's healthy, or at least the last time he's healthy, he was. That roster is probably pretty shallow. Yes, they've got the role players that won a championship, but they obviously don't have Al Horford and or Drew Holiday. So there's a lot of Baylor Shireman and Jordan Walsh filling out the roster. The other team I want to talk about were the Brooklyn Nets, who Sean Marks has been somewhat infatuated with the idea of getting Giannis Antetokounmpo for quite a while now. Sean Marks doesn't really put a foot wrong. He's done a great job at his job as the lead decision maker in Brooklyn, and everyone knows what he's done. He built that team out of nothing. They obviously got big enough to be a free agent destination. They got Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, but just couldn't do it. And then it's just sort of been really long-term, slow build sort of stuff since then. And even before then as well, but he's just always wanted Giannis. There's always been a report where it's like, hey, the Nets will be interested in Giannis should he want to leave. So now it looks like Giannis wants to leave. Are they interested in Giannis? They control their draft pick this year, which I think we can all assume they are hoping is a top 3 pick so they can get a sort of star to take them through. They are missing their own pick in 2027 and I think 2028. So would a trade for Giannis, let's say Michael Porter Jr. plus Yegor Jomon. I think that might be the first time I've said his name on this podcast, and I was terrified to do so because I don't know how to pronounce it, but that Russian BYU product. Would that get it done, or would you need to toss in some more role players, like / draft prospects, or would you need to throw in picks? Brooklyn doesn't have many picks. It's going to be a pick far out in the future. Maybe it's that Denver pick that they got for taking on Michael Porter Jr., that's not going to swing it for the Brooklyn Nets. Like, yes, they can. This would be a weighted trade to the Nets financially, because the Nets have heaps of cap space, so they can just take on more money. But like whatever the Bucks do, if they do move on from Giannis, they're probably either going to save money in that deal or make a deal shortly after to make the team worse on the court, but then just cut into their tax bill anyway. So I don't think they're going to prioritize that, which means they're probably not going to go to the trade with the Nets, which means Sean Marks once again will miss out on the elusive figure that is Giannis, which, again, I don't know why they're interested in him. Okay, well, thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you liked what you listened, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Just engage with all of our content. Follow us on the socials. Our socials are plastered everywhere. We have made it so easy for you to follow us and share with your friends. So why don't you just do it? Thank you for listening and make it a great day.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.